Hello writer, and welcome back to my life. It's Writer Wednesday, where I give you my best tips and advice on the art and the business of writing and tell you how I do what I do as an indie author. As per usual, today we're answering a question from one of my $5 patrons on Patreon, and today's question comes to us from Gerald Hornsby, who asks, do you know enough about writing to write a writing craft book? So my short answer to this question is that I think I know enough about writing to educate people about writing, but I don't think I know enough to write a book about it yet. To some nonfiction authors, that doesn't make sense. The ebooks they publish are more of a running journal of constantly updating content. Some authors might even take the sort of content I produce here in the Writer Wednesday videos, translate it to text form, edit it, and publish that as an ebook. And I think that's fine if you want nonfiction to be a big part of your business and career as an author, but that is not something I want to do. When you publish a stream of writing craft advice, whether it's in a series of books or a series of YouTube videos like this one, it's more of a conversation than a definitive statement. Like I can and have made Writer Wednesday videos that comment on earlier Writer Wednesday videos, updating something I've said or providing a new perspective with the benefit of more experience. I wouldn't want to do that with books, mostly because I can only do a certain amount of work on books in general each day. And at least for now, at this point in my career, I want to spend all that time on fiction, not nonfiction. If I started producing writing advice books, I know I would constantly want to go back and revise them or write new ones to update my thoughts on various topics, which would take away from the work I'm doing in Underwhelm, which is very different from the videos I make here on YouTube, which are faster to produce and also invite a lot more interaction with you, the viewer, which again makes it more of a conversation. And I think that my writing advice is still very much in the conversation stage. Not to mention the fact that if I were to create writing craft books now and update them, that would be a whole lot of work that wouldn't immediately turn into more income for me or for legacy books. And in order to turn writing advice into income, I'd have to do all the same stuff I do for my fiction: marketing, advertising, promotion, outreach, engagement, all of it. And that too would be effort I would have to take away from fiction, away from Underwhelm, and I just have no desire to do that. At the beginning of every Writer Wednesday video, I tell you that these videos are my best tips and advice on the art and the business of writing. They're my best tips because they're what works for me, and I think that advice can be helpful. After all, my entire early career just consisted of finding out what worked for other people, trying it, and keeping what worked. But for me to produce a writing craft book, I would want to be a little more certain that what I was putting in that book was a little more universal. And I think I'll be able to do that in the future, mostly because as Legacy Books continues to expand, I'll continue to work with more and more authors who work in different ways. And from that variety of different experiences, I can then find common truths that will be more applicable to more writers. Like, I actually do have a Scrivener file on my computer that is a writing craft book I've been working on for over 2 years now, and it's got a list of topics I know I want to cover, along with brief summaries of my advice on each one of those topics. But every once in a while I pop it open and I read through it, and I sort of wince at some of the stuff I've written there. Not because it's bad, but because it's so prescriptive. And with more experience, I know that some of the advice I've written down may work for me, but absolutely not work for other people, and may actually hamper their writing if they try to follow it too closely. I look at a writing craft book the way I look at my literary novel, Rebel Yell. It's something I want to do, something I feel like it's important for me to do, but it's also not something I want to turn into a career. It's not something I think I can turn into a career. Because when I do publish a writing craft book one day, and believe me, that is absolutely something I want to do, I want to feel confident that it stands on its own. People may discuss it, they may disagree with it, there may be a conversation around it, but I won't feel the need to participate in that conversation. Because I'll only have released it in the first place if I'm confident enough in what it says to let it stand on its own. And that is all I've got for you today, writer. Thank you so much to Gerald for today's question. I hope you and others found the answer helpful. A reminder to the rest of you that my $5 patrons on Patreon, like Gerald, get these videos 2 weeks in advance, and they're also the only ones who can ask questions for me to cover in the series. If you want to become one of those awesome and incredibly attractive individuals, I really appreciate the support. Or you could go pick up the Writer Wednesday t-shirt. That helps too. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next Wednesday. Bye!